Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. We're back again today with another match preview for you, previewing the EFL Championship clash on Friday night between Huddersfield Town and West Bromwich Albion, which kicks off at 8 o'clock at the Hawthorns. Yeah, it's a huge game in Albion's season. Huddersfield, of course, doing very well in the Championship, which I'm sure we'll discuss in due course. But Albion doing a better job last weekend of in picking up a victory against Hull City. But as for Huddersfield, flying in the Championship at the moment, and we'll get into plenty of that. We'll talk a little bit of scouting report for Huddersfield. What can we expect from them? Who are their key players? Who their manager is? Predicted 11s for both sides. My thoughts on the current situation at West Brom, and of course a little bit of a score prediction at the end of the video. But I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts as well. Make sure you comment your opinions, your score predictions, your predicted lineups, whatever you want to comment in the section below. Make sure you go and do so. And also make sure you listen to this week's episode of the Baggies Podcast. Sometimes I do forget that we actually do a podcast on this YouTube channel. But yeah, if you want to go check that out, there's an exclusive interview with myself and Dave Lawrence, the West Bromwich Albion Women Director of Football, who chatted to me after their historic day at the Hawthorns. So make sure you go and check that out. Be sure to subscribe. And that's enough rambling for now. Let's crack on with this match preview for West Bromwich Albion Huddersfield. You're watching the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. For match previews, match day vlogs, match reactions, and more, make sure to subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. So let's get it started. It's Huddersfield Town versus West Bromwich Albion, a big game in the EFL Championship. Yeah, one that I'm quite nervous about, actually. I don't think I've really been too bothered about the Albion as of late, of course, with the form that we've been in. But I feel like I'm kind of coming back to life after the victory that we had over Hull City on the weekend. And, of course, looking into this game against Huddersfield Town and Tuesday's game, which is another huge game against Fulham. Both these games at the Hawthorns as well, we do tend to have relatively strong home form, maybe not of late. I think we've lost 2 out of the last 3, so yeah, maybe not of late. Our home form hasn't been great, but however, through the large part of this season, we've remained and we were unbeaten. So yeah, that gives me a little bit of faith, but not too much. I can't say I'm thinking that we are going to win, but I'm definitely in the back of my mind. I'm hoping, and I've got a little bit more positivity after what I saw at the weekend. But we'll get on to West Brom in a little bit. But we'll start with Huddersfield Town, the visitors to the Hawthorns. They're in third in the EFL Championship, doing very, very well this season. And I will say overachieving. I'm sure there'll be some Huddersfield fans in the comments of this video, but I will say that for sure Huddersfield, the Terriers, are overachieving this season in third place. Last season, of course, not in that sort of not in the automatic promotion race at all. But now was second place only last week and above Bournemouth. But now they're level on points with Bournemouth in third place. They're doing incredibly well so far this season, and I must say fully deserve their credit and fully deserve to be in the mix for automatic promotion with their form. The form over the past few months, in fact, has been fantastic. They haven't lost in the league since November, which is just an incredible stat. I mean, that is a massive run of form. I do think there are quite a few draws in there, let's not kid ourselves, but to not lose a game, I suppose they did lose on Monday against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup, but as I said, it's in the league. They haven't lost since November in the league, so they are doing incredibly well so far this season, working very hard and are really overachieving with the squad that they've got. And I don't think any Huddersfield fan will mind me saying that, but it's just credit to their manager, who we'll get onto in a little bit. But Bournemouth are in second with 62 points. They've lost a couple more games than Huddersfield. Huddersfield drawing a couple more games than Bournemouth, and then you've got Blackburn just below. But yeah, Huddersfield doing really, really well this season and fully deserving of their part in the playoffs and the playoff fixture, and they've done very well. 13 points and 10 places above Albion at the moment. So yeah, if that's a telling stat of our season so far, if there ever is one, then yeah, it's definitely that one. We are definitely not in a good position, and Huddersfield flying at the moment in the automatic promotion places, managed by Carlos Corberán, former Leeds United coach and under-23s manager. Marcelo Bielsa, of course, just left Leeds United, replaced by Jesse March in the in the Premier League, Marcelo Bielsa described him as very talented. So during the 2019-20 season, same season we went up, he helped take them up until taking over as head coach at Huddersfield. Not too long after the completion of that season. So yeah, I think to be plucked out of a coaching setup, I think must say either you're a very experienced ex-professional footballer. So I look at somebody like, I feel like John Terry's going to end up in that sort of vein and be plucked out of coaching setups as an assistant manager in that sort of way at some point. However, or you could be very, very experienced as a coach, or know your way around as a coach, or have very good recommendations. And I think that's what Carlos Corberán has, because he only really he didn't really have much of a professional football career. He played for Valencia's B team for quite a long, for the youth side of his career until he was 23, and then he retired and pursued his dream as coach. And he's only 38. So yeah, he's a very experienced coach, and of course somebody that Bielsa rates very highly, and we have to take his word as a real a big plaudit really if you're a coach. So yeah, top scorer Danny Ward with 11 goals so far this season. Remember, he's very close to scoring against us back in the reverse fixture. I think that was in November. Top assist is Sorba Thomas with 10 assists. He's been very good this season. Been great to watch his rise from non-league into the Championship, and of course on the international stage now with Wales. So yeah, very good to see. Goals per match, 1.4. They are fourth in the league with that particular stat, but they've got the most clean sheets in the division. I think they're joint with Blackburn and Luton with 15 clean sheets so far this season. Their predicted 11 in goal: Nichols, right back Ollie Turton. I think he played in the FA Cup defeat at Blackpool last season that we had on penalties. Tom Lees at centre back, former Sheffield Wednesday centre back alongside Matt Pearson, who is, I think he used to play for Luton as well. Harry Toffolo at left back. I think he was, I can't remember where. Yeah, I think he must have been at Huddersfield for a little bit of time now, because I seem to remember him playing under the Cowley brothers, and I think that's quite some way away, to be honest. But yeah, Daniel Sinani, who scored against us last time after only 6 minutes to give Huddersfield the victory. John Russell, who I can't say I'm too familiar with, but yeah, he's been doing a decent job in centre midfield, only 21 years old. Lewis O'Brien next to him. How many times are we going to hear rumours of him going to Leeds United potentially? But yeah, he is obviously a real star player in that midfield, and a very technically astute midfielder coming through Huddersfield Academy. So yeah, Joanne Holmes, left wing. Sorba Thomas, right wing, and Danny Ward, of course, their top scorer up front. They'll provide stern opposition. They're very organised, but they also like to catch teams on the counter-attack. They really did exploit the high line of Albion last time, and I feel like I say that for quite a lot of opponents. I said it for Swansea, but it was a really exploited high line. But yeah, doing very well this season, and rightfully in the position that they are. Of course, really overachieving with the squad that they've got and the budget that they've spent. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what we can expect from Huddersfield. But as for the Devils of West Bromwich Albion that I seem to see every week and seem to have to watch, but 13th in the EFL Championship. But we did win a game last week against Hull City. It was a much better performance, much more complete, much more organised. Very different to what we've seen over previous weeks, I think is the words I'm going for. We're 6 points off the playoffs, 13 points off the automatic promotion spots, but for some reason there's a part of me thinking this isn't quite done yet. I just feel, I don't think we will get in the playoffs, but there's a part of me that thinks that we may end up in those playoff positions between now and the end of the season, but I don't think we'll finish there, if you get what I mean, if you get my gist. So yeah, I think it's been a difficult season, but I'm hoping for some positive times ahead, and I do think we'll finish the season strongly. I don't think we'll have enough to finish in those playoff positions, but there's always a chance if you get yourself in and around that zone. But I think Bruce has found a bit more of a winning combination that we saw last time. I know it was a poor Hull side, but I do think that that's the combination that you have to go with. I think he definitely got more right than wrong against the Tigers away from home. He decided to play Taylor Gardner-Hickman in midfield, and that was, of course, an easy stroke to take, really, as a manager. I think that anybody would have probably put Taylor Gardner-Hickman in there. I think myself, if I was managing the side, I'd have put them in, and the same for many fans as well. I was listening to the Baggies broadcast, which is the Express and Star podcast, where Joe Massey said that he might have been waiting for Livermore to come back Steve Bruce might have been waiting for Jake Livermore to come back from his suspension so he could play alongside Taylor Gardner-Hickman. So Yeah, I think for that, the midfield unit looked a lot more cohesive, more energetic. The defence looked more comfortable in a 3-5-2, more midfield cover, and I think they're just more used to that three at the back. It was so ingrained in them under Ismail, and I've been calling for them to play a three in midfield for quite some time now, and I'm glad they finally did. So yeah, it worked out okay. And I'm hoping for a more positive performance. As I said, I'm not sure that we'll get in those playoff positions, but certainly hoping to keep going and try and push towards that top six positions, because we should be in there. We should be in there. There's no excuse for being this low down in the league, and I'm hoping that things change. But here's my predicted 11 for the game. I actually think it will be completely unchanged. So Sam Johnston in goal, made a really good save for Jacob Greaves' effort last time out. Shemi Ajayi looked a lot more comfortable coming out from the back, so I think he'll start at centre-back, along with Carl Bartley, and also Matt Clark, who had a stellar game at Hull City. He was absolutely excellent. Donald Furlong, right wing-back, Connor Townsend at left wing-back, Jake Livermore anchoring the midfield, and of course as captain. I think he's had a lot of stick recently, and when he got sent off, and rightly so for a silly decision, but I don't think you can underestimate the fact that when played in the right role, which I think now is the number 6 position, he is very useful. Alongside Alex Mowat and Taylor Gardner-Hickman, with Carlin Grant and Callum Robinson up front. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how we get on. Bit nervous about this one. Starting to get a bit more invested in Albion again after what has been a really torrid time of late. Let me know your thoughts down below. Oh, hang on, I forgot to give you my score prediction. I didn't give you mine. So yeah, I'll go for a. I'm going to back us. I'm going to go 1-0 Albion. I just got a little feeling inside me that the end of the season might be a bit more positive than this sort of mid-stretch that we've been on recently. So yeah, feel free to drop your comments, your predicted lineups, your predictions down below. But that's the end of this match preview. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.